Clock just signaled 7 o'clock, so it's time to call to order this regular meeting of the Andover Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission, June 5th, 2023, 7 p.m. I see that we have on the call Commissioner Larson, Commissioner Monroe, Commissioner Fife. Commissioner Maschke indicated she might be late joining the meeting, so we'll see if she can show up. Are there any suggestions for a change to the order or additions to the agenda? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move to item number 4 of the agenda. Approval of the minutes from March 6th. It's been a while, it's obviously since that meeting. I'm looking at a document labeled, let me see what the title is, 3.6.2023 IWWC meeting motions minutes Andover regular. And I hope that we're all on the same page with that. Give you a minute to peruse, and then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes and or any amendments there too. So any questions or comments regarding the minutes? Okay, then motion to approve those minutes and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, so moved, and a second, Commissioner Monroe. Okay, without amendments, we can proceed to a vote by roll call in order of alphabet. Commissioner Larson.
Aye.
Commissioner Monroe.
Aye.
Commissioner Fife. Are you on? Commissioner Fife, you have to unmute. There you go. And I also vote aye, so the motion carries 4-0-0. I don't see any public to comment, and we don't have any old business to consider. Neither do we have any new applications or business of which to take receipt. There are several agent action and enforcement actions, which I will turn over to Agent Wagner to describe and discuss.
It's been a while since our last meeting, so it kind of been slow, but I've had a few things. The most recent was the 23-05, which was the construction of the community garden. So they cleared some trees, put a bunch of fill in, leveled it off, and they're in the process of building some boxes over there. And then there was a pile of topsoil that had been there from a previous construction, maybe when they built the firehouse or town hall or something. I don't know. It'd been there for a while, so they ended up taking that. I don't know if they use it at this project or they used it somewhere else, but they graded and seeded everything. So it's pretty much done now. Our impact, some of it was in the upland review area, some of it wasn't. It was kind of on the edge.
Mhm.
And then we had 23-04. That was one I talked to you about a while back when the Connecticut Meditation Center built a shelter over their statue, wooden structure of the roof over their statue. So they applied for the permit. It's a pretty detailed application actually, and they said it was temporary. So eventually, I mean, they don't have anything in now, but eventually they're planning on putting an actual building over there. So there's definitely a lot of wetlands on that property. So that would come before the commission when it happens, if it does. The other one was 23-03 in April 12th. That was 196 Lake Road. The property owner wants to demolish his 20 by 20 one-car garage and build a two-car garage, 24 by 30 foot in the same location. See the plans, wasn't too much bigger, and he's working with Jim to put a dry well in to capture the water that's coming off of the shed, off of the garage, I mean. Then we got March 13th was the removal and reconstruction of a 80 foot by 3 foot masonry wall and a 52 by 4 foot masonry wall. They weren't on the lake, they were kind of like halfway up the yard. I forget exactly how far, but it was, I don't know, probably 30 feet if I had to guess, away from the lake, 30 or 40 feet. So there was one, and then there was another one. They were kind of terraced and they were starting to collapse. So they're getting those rebuilt, or got them rebuilt. I'm not sure if they're finished yet. Couple other things that I didn't put on the agenda was I met with Ryan Fitch from Fitch Family Farm. Met with him on the 30th, and he's still planning on cleaning up those trees in the pond. He's trying to hire a crew for his landscaping company, and he's gonna work with me when they get done. So it'll be probably midsummer, which I think would be better as far as vernal pool. We'll be well out of the vernal pool season. Hopefully be a little drier there. So still on him to get that done. And then 88 School Road, that one came in today. That's a new house, and the house is outside of the upland review area. But there's a footing drain that goes like 40 feet in. So I had to put a permit in for that. It's just a simple project, but I just got that today. I'll post the materials on there one probably tomorrow. Then I got 409 Lake Road. I've been talking to them. They're close to done. They put the electrical utilities in next to the driveway. They've seeded it. They fixed some of the ruts that they put in the wetland area when they cleared it, and they were kind of haphazard about that. So they fixed that. The driveway is pretty much done. They're going to put another layer of gravel on it once they're further along in the process of construction. I think that's like one of the final steps. But as far as excavating over there, I think they're pretty much done. And then I'm going to work with Judy about the wetlands plantings and stuff. She's going to hold off on that till next year, I think. And then you guys, I emailed you guys Algonquin pipeline maintenance notice that I got last week, that they're gonna do some work off of what was that, Juravati, I think. They found a couple one thing they had to investigate, I guess. And it's in wetlands, but we don't have a jurisdiction over that. So, and that's all I got.
Okay. Any questions from the commission about any of these permits or enforcements?
I'd just like to thank Joe for, coordinating with Jim on the nutrient allocation stuff. These dry wells, well, I guess 409 had a little, they had the detention pond kind of thing, but those seem to be going now, as opposed to, it got tough to get started initially, but you and Jim must have the trick because they seem to be working okay now. So I appreciate your efforts on that.
We're kind of figuring it out. It's the way it works with wetlands and everything. We kind of have to work on it together anyway. So, but yeah, it's getting there.
Much better than it was a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. And again, appreciate your ability to stay on top of these projects and keep us informed of what's going on the ground. You know, again, as Commissioner Larson has pointed out many times, issuing as a permit is one thing, seeing it through and actually realizing the conditions being met can be quite another. So, Commission can look forward to more of that. Okay, so if that concludes the agent report, we can move on to our item other business, which is, of course, the perennial issue of membership and recruitment. This specifically for the term beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2025. I did poll the membership per request from Town Clerk Carol Lee and informed her of the results, which is as follows. Continuing members will include Commissioner Larson, Commissioner Monroe, and Commissioner Fife as regular members. Circumstances led to, I see that Commissioner Maskey is just joining the call now. And so I wanted to report that she will continue, but on an alternate basis. Finally, Commissioner Smith, who's not present for tonight's meeting and has been, as we're willing to continue to serve as a nominal alternate in case we need to make up a quorum, has indicated that he will continue in that and hopes that and anticipates that in January of 2024, his circumstances will allow him to step up to a regular membership on the commission. He was a regular member at one point, and the other activities led him to, as it were, drop back to alternate. But as I say, he expressed an anticipation of being able to step up as a regular member. I, on the other hand, am not going to continue. I felt that one thing and another will be in the best interest of all of us if I don't continue on the commission. And I enjoyed doing it. I feel that I'm still competent, but at my age, you don't want to count on these things for too long. So, as I say, I'm resigning the commission effective the end of this month. Now, that gives me 25 days to finish up a little bit of work. The new chair will have to be elected in July per our commission bylaws, and I hope that you all will have a more amicable time than in succession than the recent HBO series. If anybody watched that one, but it was a royal battle. Anyhow, I will continue, as I say, serving on some matters that should be finished up. We have, at the end of the conclusion of tonight's meeting, we'll have all the data for our annual report, which will cover the the fiscal year ending on June 30th. So I'll compile that information. I'll forward a Word document to Agent Wagner so that it will be available for the commission to review and ultimately vote on, so that that can be submitted to the town administrative assistant. I will also work with the town administrative assistant to update the volunteers needed item that perpetually appears on the town website. I will also assist the new chair in accessing the email account that has been set up on the town's email account with Microsoft Outlook. So there is an IWWC chair account. You may have seen that address included in the send to lists or copy to lists on some of the communications that I sent you. That email account simply exists as a repository for messages from the chair and sometimes to the chair, so that, you know, the stuff that's on my personal sbcglobal.net account doesn't get subpoenaed by some court. Not that I expected that would happen, but, you know, we all use our private email accounts for all this business, but it's good to have a public record of, or, you know, publicly accessible, or I should say accessible, if not to the public, at least to the commission and to the town administration, if it comes to that. So you all will have some things to look forward to in July. And I wish you all the best in finding additional members to help carry the load and to you know, aid in the deliberations, make sure we get a balanced viewpoint on the decisions that the commission has to make. Any questions or comments?
Well, I don't think you should go, George. I think we're going to wrap up this meeting here with the new world's record being done in less than 20 minutes. So we've obviously got a handle on it now.
Well, I appreciate that comment, Commissioner Larson, Jed. I think that, yeah, it's often stated that my only real qualification for the business of being chairman was that I chaired a lot of meetings and like to move things along. But, you know, there's also got to be room for discussion, deliberation, and due consideration of all the aspects of the work that we're required to do and the regulations that we're required to carry out. This has been a very light year, obviously. I've had the good fortune of not having an awful lot on our plate during these meetings. That always expedites things. You know,
Well, thanks for all your work on that, George. And I know you kind of got moved into the chairman spot unexpectedly, and you've done a great job over the time that you've been there. So thank you.
well, thank you, and I appreciate your representing the Planning and Zoning Commission. You might lean on some of your members to co-participate, you know, and fulfill that obligation of P&Z to represent itself on IWWC.
I did ask who, if there was any interest, and I got no takers. So
okay, okay. Yeah, asking for interest is not often successful. We've had some. I appreciate those who have stepped up to that invitation. But again, it's a continual problem. In a town this size, we just have a human resource problem. We have all the commissions to fill and all the offices to fill, all the boards to fill, same as any other town. and a much smaller population to draw from in doing so. So, you know, anybody who wants to be involved in town affairs can always find room, always find a welcoming spot. Okay, so that concludes the business that I had. Your next regular meeting will be scheduled for July 11th, 7, usual time and place. And without objection,
One objection.
yes, okay.
Well, George, I just wanted to say it's been an honor and a pleasure having you as our chairman.
Thank you.
I learned a lot about wetlands, and between you and Jed, and Joe, that's where I learned it.
Good, good. I knew that.
That I did want to mention I can't really mention it to you because you're not going to be the chairman, but I was checking my calendar and I'm not going to be around next meeting. I'm going to be in a vehicle, or I'm not going to be here. So I'm going to miss the July 11th meeting.
Well, the members present at that time can decide whether they want to defer action on condition on things that need to be done. And obviously it'll largely depend on what needs to be done, whether there are any new business to attend to at that time.
You might just find yourself being chairman when you drive that vehicle back.
You gotta watch out for those, what can happen in your absence.
Well, if I have to be, if that were the case, I would have to have it at the little community room, because I am not capable of doing things on a computer. So,
well, fortunately, we don't. We have able assistants with our board clerk to actually take care of the tech details. But yeah, that's one thing that the commission can certainly reconsider, and might be actually more appealing. I know that former Commissioner Megan Lawley, one of the reasons she dropped off the commission was that she was just getting computer overload.
oh yeah,
She's got a day job that requires a lot of computer work, and being at home with children is not always conducive to having a rational discussion on a Zoom call. So the commission could very well determine that it wanted to go back to having in-person meetings, as was the.
Well, one of the things that I found by going back to in-person planning and zoning meetings is that if you want to record the meeting or you want to display anything, you have to do all the tricks that George has been doing anyhow. So I don't think anybody's meetings are going back to hanging paper charts on the wall. That's so. But it's a steep learning curve, but you could get there, and there is some good assistance from the board clerk to help make that go smoothly.
Somebody's got to run the ante room. Okay. Well, any other questions or comments before we ring off? Okay. Then again, without further objection, declare the meeting adjourned. And again, thank you for your participation. And I will be lurking around for the next 25 days to assist, and will be available to assist with transitions and questions about moving forward. Okay, so my pleasure, and I say thanks and good night to all.
Thanks, George. Good luck to you.
Thanks,
you.
George.
Thanks, George.
thank you, George.
Night, everybody.
Live well and prosper.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.